Are you a gamer looking for your clan? If you answered yes, there's a place absolutely perfect for you. It's called Clan Finder, online at clanfinder.gg. The website was founded by gamers who were committed to keeping the site updated with the latest titles, adding new features to further assist in advertising your community across the globe, and bringing on gaming studios that want to give back to their players. Helping support charities from around the world, Clan Finder helps gaming communities promote their organizations to fellow gamers who are looking for a place to call home. Long gone are the days when you had to scour forums, stem discussions, and sketchy websites to find a new gaming clan. Go to clanfinder.gg and search for your clan today. Clanfinder.gg.
This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
All right, everybody, guys and girls, welcome back to another edition of the SmackDown Review right here on the WWE Podcast. As always, I am one of the hosts of this show, Michael Ritter. You can find me on Twitter at Michael5Ritter or on Instagram at MichaelRitter5, or also the host of the Football Function Podcast, available on all of your podcasting platforms, including the one that you're listening to this show on, and also available on Patreon if you prefer an ad-free experience. Now, typically, I have my co-host here with me, John Carrasco. He could not be here tonight. He's dealing with some other stuff. He's trying to set up a birthday party for his son. Happy birthday, Jace. By the way, give a quick shout-out to Jace. He's having to set up a birthday party. I know a lot goes into that, a lot of time, preparation. And you got to make sure everything goes according to plan, to make sure that it's a successful party. So I definitely understand that. And, no worries. He held it down for me last week while I was in Atlanta, which, hey, that was a great time. We'll say that. The Falcons got the win. I went and watched an Atlanta Braves game as well, and they got the win. And just, going to Atlanta, I love that city. Getting a little bit of like a mini vacation. Also, getting some time away from work and all that good stuff. So it was definitely a good time, and I enjoyed getting the break. So I appreciate John for, holding it down and allowing the ship to continue to roll without missing a beat. So shout out to John and everybody else who, gave him some feedback and some assistance last week. I know I really appreciate that, and he does as well. But it does feel good to be back and get to talk about some SmackDown news and wrestling news in general with you guys, so I am looking forward to that. And then obviously, this was a go-home show, so there is a pay-per-view or premiere live event, which is going to be taking place tomorrow or today, which is when you're likely going to be listening to this, but I'm recording this on Friday night. So tomorrow, for me, is when Extreme Rules is going to take place, and we're going to go through those matches, and I'm going to give my quick predictions as to what I anticipate happening during that card. So I guess we can go ahead and just dive in here and talk about the SmackDown that aired on October 7th, 2022 from Worcester, Massachusetts. And one thing I will comment on, this was obviously the season premiere of SmackDown. And one thing that kind of jumped out was the new commentary team of Michael Cole and Bad News Barrett, Wade Barrett, whichever you know him as. He's very familiar with the WWE. He's very well known with the WWE, or at least most WWE fans. They remember him from his stint as a wrestler and then his brief time as the NXT announce team, I guess he was a part of. So he's definitely been around the block a little bit here, so pretty familiar, and I actually like what he brings to the table. Obviously, I would be happier if it was Pat McAfee. I don't want Pat McAfee to go anywhere. I would definitely like it whenever he makes his return, but for now, in the meantime, I don't mind Wade Barrett. I feel like he brings personality, number one. You really like that. You don't want a Byron Saxton, just robot, corporate, just mouthpiece that's going to spew what used to be Vince McMahon in the back telling them to say. Typically, I don't really know if that's the case anymore now, or, generally speaking, if the commentary team is a little bit more, I guess, original and not necessarily just, copy and paste. Corey Graves says what Saxton says and vice versa. So I like that Wade Barrett does have a little bit of personality and also just, the in-ring experience, the familiarity with the business, being that he's, been in the wrestling industry for a pretty long time. So he does bring that, and he's able to add something. And I think that it's going to be a nice pairing with Michael Cole for the meantime until obviously Pat McAfee comes back. And then I will be very excited to get McAfee back on the commentary team. But like I said, in the meantime, I think Barrett's going to do a good job. But anyways, let's get back to the show. This SmackDown aired on October 7, 2022, like I already said. And it was the go-home show. So I feel like it's only fitting that it opens in a unique way, or at least a special way. And it opens with Triple H. His music is already playing. He's in the ring already. And he basically just says, hey, welcome to Fox. I thought that was a little bit weird. And welcome to the season premiere of SmackDown. And then right away, the Bloodline comes out. All of them. All 6 of these guys. Let's see. The Usos, Solo, Sam. Yep, 6, including Paul Heyman. They all make their way to the ring. And then Roman, of course, tells the crowd to acknowledge him. And then Logan Paul actually comes out pretty quick after that. Paul Heyman actually cuts a very long-winded promo in this segment. I'm not going to even try to repeat it because, it was tough to follow. It was one of those things like there would be no point in trying to note down what he was saying. He was just verbally disserating or whatever. He was dissecting, I guess is a better word. I should have used there is what he was doing to Logan Paul. Just on the mic, it's tough to compete with Paul Heyman on the mic. It's not like Logan Paul was even trying to compete with him, but that's the dude that, or if that's the guy that you're having to verbal joust with, you're likely going to be, put at a disadvantage. And I feel like it was pretty obvious, not even that, but just the numbers disadvantage. He was in the ring with 6 people, and he actually does point that out. So not only are you having to listen to what Paul Heyman has to say, but you're having to look at Roman Reigns, who is basically staring into your soul, knowing that you are his next challenger, and you're going to have to be in the ring with him in the very near future. So Logan Paul definitely has his work cut out for him here. After the long-winded response, Logan Paul actually asks which tribal chief he's going to be going up against and which one is going to be, quote-unquote, smashing him at Crown Jewel, Roman Reigns or Jey Uso. And obviously, because Jey Uso tends to disagree with a lot of the stuff that's going on here in terms of like the Sami Zayn stuff. And I guess he's just trying to, drive a wedge in the bloodline, or maybe just try to make a crack worse where he sees that there's a crack, which is obviously Jey Uso and his displeasure with the current status of the bloodline, whether it's only Sami Zayn's presence and what he's bringing to the bloodline, if Jay's just completely thrown off by that, or if it's just wearing on him, just being second fiddle or third fiddle, whatever it is, basically just being that sidekick. I don't know what word would be better to use in this situation, but it's tough to indicate what Logan Paul was referring to whenever he said, hey, which tribal chief am I going to be going up against? I don't know what made him even bring up Jey Uso's name. So that kind of threw me off at first, but eventually I kind of knew, all right, he's basically just trying to, drive that wedge in between what they have going on there. So I was kind of just letting it play out. Jey Uso actually kind of loses it after he says that, and he has to be held back. And I don't know if what Logan said actually kind of got through to Roman Reigns, or if he just didn't like the way that Jey Uso was reacting, but he actually kind of got in Jey Uso's face, and Jey kind of, cowered down a little bit, almost like if you see 2 dogs and they're kind of growling at each other, and then one of them eventually cowers down, puts its tail between its legs, and just gets in that crouch down position. That's almost what Jey Uso did, until Sami Zayn has to be the peacemaker. He has to be the voice of reason and basically say, hey, Roman, I promise, nobody is doubting who the tribal chief is here. Jey Uso has not done anything wrong, so please don't be mad at him. The only person you need to be mad at is standing right over there. It's Logan Paul. And then Sami goes on to call him, a wannabe. He's a poser, basically someone who wants to be a WWE superstar, but he's only a YouTuber pretending to be a wrestler right now. And then he kind of just, he elaborates a little bit. He actually says that they have a saying in the bloodline, you the twos, we the ones, and points at Logan and says, you're the biggest two of them all. And that's, Roman gets a kick out of that. Their music hits. It was a nice way to end this segment, a 20-minute segment to open the show, so damn near a quarter of the show. And I feel like it was a good one. I mean, as far as the storyline development with Logan Paul in the mix, and then further pushing this Jey Uso dynamic, Sami Zayn, the crowd is so behind him. As soon as he got on the mic, the crowd popped. I mean, Sami Zayn is so over right now. It's funny, I was actually talking to my roommate whenever the Bloodline was standing there in the ring, just all 6 of them. Obviously, Paul Heyman is excluded, but I was like, hey, who do you think is the best wrestler standing out there in the ring right now? And obviously, Roman Reigns standing in the middle, you would just assume it's him, but we both agreed it's Sami Zayn. He is the best wrestler in the Bloodline, just pound for pound. He's not the most over. He's not the one who's being pushed the hardest right now. Clearly, that's Roman Reigns. But just from bell to bell, with what they can do inside that ring, Sami Zayn is very, very talented, and I just feel like he's being utilized so perfect right now. And I just like what I see from him, honestly. So I'm a big fan of what Sami Zayn has going on right now. But continuing on here, let's see. We get Solo Sakoa versus Ricochet. And this match is, I guess Ricochet matches tend to, drag on a little bit. He's not typically like a squash match type of guy. But I felt like this match was kind of playing out to more the script of Solo. Like it was more kind of drug out, that physical aspect once he actually got his hands on Ricochet. But I feel like a big point in this match, obviously not like in terms of like a turning point in the match or anything like that, but Ricochet, I'm not sure if you guys noticed this or not, he like bounced off the rope and landed on his neck on the apron, and they went to commercial break right after this. They came back, they showed the replay, so it wasn't anything serious. But if it would have been anybody else except Ricochet, whose body is just known to fold and he can just gracefully land no matter what position he's in and land safely, they could have seriously got hurt there. That was definitely a little scary moment. I had to rewind it to make sure I saw what I saw. But thankfully, Ricochet is all right, but he does try to hit a shooting star press. Ends up getting caught in midair by Solo, who hits the spinning solo, I believe that's what it's called, and gets the win here to continue his winning streak and unbeaten streak here in the WWE. But I believe he is unbeaten. I should have prefaced that by saying I think he's unbeaten, because I'm not 100% sure. But something tells me that he has not lost just yet in WWE. So if somebody knows that, maybe DJ Kuzmo, give me a shout out and let me know if Solo has lost yet, since he's gotten called up to the main roster, that is. I know he's lost in NXT, but in the main roster, not sure if he's been beaten yet. But we do get a Bloodline little backstage segment here where they talk about Jey Uso being a quote-unquote hothead. And apparently he doesn't agree that he's a hothead. He doesn't appreciate Sami Zayn pointing it out, because that's the one who did. I mean, he pointed it out. Because the reason why he even called him a hothead is because Sami was acknowledging that, Solo's doing well, and they're doing a good job helping him out. And Jay says, what do you mean we? This is my little brother. You haven't done nothing to help him out. This and that. And then Sami says, wow, do you not have to be such a hothead? Jey Uso flips, you don't call me a hothead, don't ever call me that again. And Roman says, no, dude, it's true. You really are a hothead. You've been a hothead your entire life, and it's kind of annoying, but it's not going to be my problem anymore. It's going to be Sami's problem. So take that for what it's worth. Does that mean Sami Zayn is responsible for fixing the problem? Is he going to work with him at the problem? I don't really know what Roman Reigns meant by that, but if it involves Sami Zayn right now, just sign me up. I'm in love with everything they got going on in this dynamic. It is one of the best things that SmackDown has going on a weekly basis, and I'm extremely invested in this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it plays out going forward. But I do believe there's another backstage segment here. Oh yeah, it is New Day. New Day tries to poke fun at Jey Uso backstage, because you see the Usos and Sami Zayn walking, and they're basically, talking about what just happened, about the hothead situation. Sami's trying to apologize. Well, the New Day walk up. They begin to poke fun at Jey, and they ask him how many daddies he has. He has Ricochet. Is it Roman Reigns? Now Sami Zayn. Who is it? Who is your daddy? And Sami Zayn isn't going to tolerate that. He says, you're not going to disrespect the bloodline right now. Go get you a partner, and we'll have a 6-man tag match tonight. And the New Day does just that. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. But before that, Hit Row was actually attacked in the ring. They're making their entrance. They're their typical entrance that's, slash a concert or just, a little bit of a I guess, vibe picker-upper. They're trying to get the crowd invested, the people that are watching at home. They're trying to, pick the spirits up and get the energy lifted. So I can't appreciate that. However, let me find out exactly. I don't want to butcher this. Legado del Fantasma comes out. And they are not playing games. They completely wipe out Hit Row, including Top Dollar. They hit moves off the top turnbuckle. There's a female, her name, very familiar, Zelina Vega. She comes out also. She puts a little bit of a Hurricanrana on B-Fab to get involved. And this is, all bets are off now. There's men, there's women. The men that come out with her remove their masks. It is Legado del Fantasma, and it looks like we have some new NXT call-ups here on the SmackDown roster. I'm always on board with that. Anytime we get some new faces, some new blood here, I feel like it can't do anything but make the brand stronger. At the very least, we're getting more exposure. Some new wrestlers getting a chance to see what they got in the SmackDown ring. My only complaint: get the damn blue ropes back. I'm gonna say that until the cows come home. I definitely feel like it would add to making the brand split a little bit better. If you're a longtime listener to the show, you've heard me say that 100 times. If you're a new listener, this is likely your first time to hear me say it. But either way, big fan of the blue ropes on SmackDown, red ropes on Raw. I just don't see why you don't do that. I mean, doesn't NXT have blue ropes still? It just doesn't make sense. NXT's, I believe they're going back to black and gold. So hopefully we get yellow ropes back there. Let's just go ahead and fix every brand while we're at it. But maybe they'll do something about that whenever the draft comes, and hopefully they give the brand split their yearly shot in the arm to try to, make it last another, I don't know, year and a half, however long they go in between these drafts. But anyways, we get a tag team match next. Xia Li and Sonia Deville take on Raquel Rodriguez and Schatzi Blackheart. So basically, this match is going how Raquel matches have gone in recent weeks. They try to keep her out of the match for as long as they can to give the other team, an opportunity to have control of the match and basically just have a chance to, I guess, dominate it a little bit before they are completely outmatched, because that's essentially what happens. Anytime Raquel gets in the ring, she's just so much better than her opponent. You can tell that a push for her is almost inevitable. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily rule her out for being an early Royal Rumble winner prediction. Now, not 100% sure if I'm going to go that route. That is a very big prediction to go on record and, actually, I guess, tie yourself to. I did that to Bianca Belair back in October a couple years ago, so maybe it would be appropriate. I don't know yet, but hey, I guess just let the weeks kind of play out a little bit, and maybe I will make that way too early prediction. But right now, I got to say, Raquel Rodriguez definitely on my short list for who I think is going to have a say in who wins that. I mean, she ends up winning this match with a Tahana Bomb. She hits it on Sonya Deville to secure the win for their team, and she just continues to be a force here in the women's division, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from her. Xia Li, I guess, is that default heel. We really haven't seen a whole lot of her, like on the mic or anything like that. She's kind of just, in the ring. I don't even see her entrance. Anytime she's in a match, she's just automatically in the ring. She must come out during commercial break or something like that, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of Xia Li these days. But anyways, continuing on here in the show, Drew McIntyre sneaks up on Karrion Kross and Scarlett and actually attacks Karrion Kross from behind. And he intends to use that strap as a weapon. He pulls it out. He ties it around his hands. But before he can, security guards come out to the ring. They try to stop him. They end up obviously getting thrown around, suplexed, all that good stuff. But while Drew McIntyre is dealing with them, Karrion Kross is able to, in the 2K world, I guess, regain his energy. That little energy bar, fills up. He stands up on the outside of the ring. He gets his hands on that strap, and he starts to pull Drew McIntyre into the ring post. He does that probably like 2 or 3 times, and then eventually just starts hitting him in the back with that strap extremely hard. Like those first 2 shots were, I damn near felt them from my couch at home. And then he probably hits him like 5 or 6 more times. It was just pretty crazy to watch, and just knowing that this is happening 24 hours before they're actually going to have a strap match. Definitely something to pay attention to. Drew McIntyre's back is probably going to look pretty beat up tomorrow night. It's going to look like, he just got the hell beat out of him because he literally did. But do not worry, Karrion Kross likely going to get a little bit of a taste of that himself come Extreme Rules in that strap match. But continuing on here, let's see. Moving our way through SmackDown.
You're listening to the WWE Podcast. We'll be right back after this short break.
Are you a gamer looking for your clan? If you answered yes, there's a place absolutely perfect for you. It's called Clan Finder, online at clanfinder.gg. The website was founded by gamers who were committed to keeping the site updated with the latest titles, adding new features to further assist in advertising your community across the globe, and bringing on gaming studios that want to give back to their players. Helping support charities from around the world, Clan Finder helps gaming communities promote their organizations to fellow gamers who are looking for a place to call home. Long gone are the days when you had to scour forums, stem discussions, and sketchy websites to find a new gaming clan. Go to clanfinder.gg and search for your clan today. Clanfinder.gg.
Welcome back to the WWE Podcast. Let's get back to more great wrestling audio.
We get that 6-man tag match that we were talking about earlier with the Usos and Sami Zayn versus the New Day and Braun Strowman. That ends up being their mystery partner, the monster of all monsters. And not just from the segment that happened earlier in the show, the backstage segment where they kind of, had that trash talking back and forth, yada yada. You can just tell from the way that the match started and all that stuff, this was a physical and very personal match. It wasn't just they got put on the card and they had to go at it just for the sake of it. No, these two teams actually didn't like each other. At least that's what they made you feel. And they actually wanted to beat the absolute hell out of each other. So, no love lost, no love found between these two teams. One thing you are going to notice here, though, at least for the duration of this storyline, is Sami Zayn and Jey Uso continue to butt heads. The animosity is just, they can't contain it. They can't just put it aside for the duration of a match. They can't just leave it backstage, stick together for one single match, go backstage and then bicker. They cannot manage to coexist at all. And they butt heads during the match, outside the ring, on the apron. It really doesn't matter. These two guys just cannot be around each other without just completely killing each other's vibes, and that's definitely not something you want to have happen in one of the best factions going on in WWE right now. So you might want to get that situated. But during the match, it was actually pretty funny seeing Jey Uso slap Sammy's back to force the tag. But dude, he was slapping his back so hard. Even Sammy, oh my gosh, kind of turned around and, cringed a little bit. You could tell that hurt. And then, when Sami Zayn stuck his hand out to try to, just let Jey Uso get in the match and just have a clean little friendly tag, Jey Uso smacked his hand so hard. So it was just dude, Jey Uso is clearly the one who's stopping the peace from being kept around here. He's the one that's making things pretty difficult, to say the least. I don't really know what the problem is. Why Jey Uso won't just, see that Sami Zayn is, or he has the Bloodline's best interest in mind. He just legitimately wants to be a part. He wants to be included. So I don't really know why Jey Uso is such... Man, I don't even know the word to use. He's just so against it. He's so on the other side. And for whatever reason, Sami Zayn continues to try to prove his worth to Jey Uso, but that really doesn't happen in this match. They continue to bicker back and forth outside of the ring. In fact, right in front of the announce team, they're really face-to-face, kind of, having some words. Braun Strowman does the old Strowman Express. Sorry. And, just tries to run, gain some speed, and knock both of them out. Sami Zayn goes flying over the announce table, but Jey Uso actually goes flying right into Michael Cole and kind of knocks him into the barricade, gets sandwiched a little bit. It was actually pretty hilarious because you could tell Michael Cole didn't really know if he should keep talking or sell it. He was oh my gosh, and was quiet for 5 seconds. and you didn't really know what he was going to do, and then eventually just kind of, started commentating the match again. I thought that was a little bit of an entertaining segment just because you knew he didn't really know what to do. It kind of just happened unexpectedly, and I feel like those are always the best moments in wrestling, is the live moments you get watching where it kind of goes off schedule and they don't really know, I guess, or it's not that they don't know what they do, but they don't expect that moment to happen. So it's nice to see them improvise on the moment. Like, it's nice to see them react. Some people are great at it, like Bayley, whenever she butchered Dakota Kai's name or whatever, Io Sky. I don't remember exactly how she did it, but she clearly messed up, and she was able to, add it into her promo and, make the crowd kind of play into that. The good people can do that. The good improvisers can actually handle those moments on the fly. And you can always appreciate that. I forgot who it was. I think it might have been Tamina a few years ago whenever Charlotte said something about looking like James Ellsworth. And then Tamina immediately copied her and was like, "You don't shut up. You're going to be looking like Ellsworth." Like, she just immediately, said immediately and identically what Charlotte just said. I don't know if that's kind of off topic, but it's just something where, on the spot, I don't know if maybe Tamina was supposed to say what Charlotte said, and Charlotte's the one that messed it up, but she didn't improvise on the spot and say something else, and that's something that always kind of sticks in my mind whenever these moments come up, so I don't know. One of those little things that I went on a little bit of a, sidebar on, but it is a little bit funny, but like I was saying, the bickering does eventually cost the New Day, or it cost the Usos, and it allows the New Day to gain control of this match and eventually win it. They actually pin the Undisputed Tag Team Champions. They pin Jimmy Uso, hitting a move in the corner, one of their tag team moves where Kofi Kingston has him held up kind of on his knee, and Xavier Woods jumps off the top turnbuckle, does a little bit of like a Finn Balor stomp to his chest, and they pin Jimmy Uso damn near straight up. I mean, it was a clean match, 6-on-6. Action going on outside of the ring. Nothing was, there wasn't no outside interference or anything like that, so pretty even match. They just didn't come out on top. So, I mean, shout out to the New Day. I'm not sure what this means for them. I hope it doesn't mean they're going to, get an opportunity at the championships or anything like that. I mean, we really don't need to see another New Day title run, especially whenever the Usos are doing so well. But you have to take note to the fact that they got the win here. I mean, it has to mean something, I guess. But moving on backstage, we see LA Knight. He actually is standing right next to a almost lifeless Mansoor and Masse. I don't know if he's the one that wiped him out or if he just kind of walked up on him. They didn't really say, but it looked like he's the one that did it. So that's kind of what I'm going off of. As of right now, I am going off of as if LA Knight is the one who wiped him out. And Maxine, she tries to call him Max. He says, "Don't call me that. I'm LA Knight." I love to see this. I want to see this version of him on the main roster because I really didn't get a chance to watch it that close in NXT whenever he was truly LA Knight. And he came up to the main roster as Max Dupree. And luckily that is gone out the window, hopefully. And we get LA Knight back. And I truly think that he'll be a good asset to the SmackDown roster. And I do believe he has a match next week, one-on-one with Mansoor. So we already get to see this kind of, translate into the ring. And I am a fan of that for sure. But up next we get the main event, the Intercontinental Championship match between Sheamus and Gunther. And I mean, this match starts and there's about 24 minutes left in SmackDown, including commercials, but still just real time. 24 minutes left in the show. So you knew that they were going to give these guys time. You knew that they were going to allow them to have a pretty good match. It was slow paced, but I mean, it's impossible to get these guys into the ring and not have an absolutely physical match. Like, they were beating the hell out of each other. Sheamus's chest looked like he just got hit with the barbed wire bat. I mean, it was truly just from chops, too. That's the thing, is the chops that Gunther does is damn near like a weapon. Like, it's appropriate that it's, in the season of Extreme Rules, because you could damn near have a Gunther chop match, and, it would fit the mold of all these matches having like a gimmick, added to them. Gunther's chops is damn near worse than some of the weapons that you'll see tomorrow, whether it's a kendo stick, a chair being hit to the back, because, they don't hit in the head anymore. So you damn near would rather get hit with that chair in the back than a chop right to the chest. I don't know. I mean, I'll let you guys decide that. But anyways, this match itself, I mean, one of the more, physically imposing matches that you see, just brutal. Whenever you see Sheamus is, I guess, 10 beats connecting to Gunther while he's laying on the rope. You knew that was just absolutely killing him. He couldn't take more than 10. He was the one that kind of, shivered down a little bit. So shout out to Sheamus, man. He was actually taking it to him. You could just tell, like, he was drenched in sweat, like, by the time this match was over. And I know most of the time, most wrestlers, they sweat during matches. But Sheamus's hair was just absolutely soaked. You could tell that he was going that extra mile. 24-minute main event match. You knew this match had the possibility of the title changing hands because it's the main event. You knew that it was going to be long, and they were going to try to put on a 4 to 5 star match just to kill that, that time. And just the two wrestlers that are involved in this, the pride, the egos that they have, they want to put on a hell of a match. So I knew that we were in store for a pretty classic match here by these two, and that's pretty much what we got. They were just beating the absolute piss out of each other until eventually their partners come out and kind of start brawling on the outside of the ring. The Brutes and Imperium, they're just going at it, but they don't interfere. That's the thing. It really doesn't cause any type of distraction. Sheamus is in control. He's about to hit the bro kick on Gunther to steal this championship, but the referee's back is turned, and Gunther uses a shillelagh and hits Sheamus right in the head and pins him to retain his championship. So this is the first win to my knowledge that Gunther has to cheat to do it. And I don't really know what you take to that, because I know he's still obviously a very worthy opponent, but it's just a heel move, Triple H, if you take away all of Triple H's wins that he cheated to win, he doesn't have that glorious World Heavyweight Championship reign that he had in the Ruthless Aggression era. So obviously, heels are going to do this. It's just part of it. But I guess I didn't anticipate it, because I've seen Gunther just, demolish his opponents without having to cheat. So the fact that he had to pull out the heel tactics, the heel cheating moves, is a credit to Sheamus, because Gunther, of all wrestlers, had to resort to those type of tactics to put him away. Because if it wasn't for that, Sheamus was going to win this match and steal that championship, complete his Grand Slam, and be the new reigning Intercontinental Champion. Sorry. Getting myself going here, man. I really like what I saw from Sheamus in this match, and I do believe he might be the one who ends up taking it off of Gunther. It's tough because he just lost. He already lost whenever they had their Donnybrook match. So he doesn't have the wins to kind of, warrant him getting another opportunity. But, you have to give credit where it's due. And I feel like the fact that it was clearly a cheating finish, if you were to, take that to the WWE officials, I don't really know who. We haven't seen Adam Pearce since he went off on Ronda Rousey that one time. So I don't know who he's going to talk to, but he can maybe, talk to some sort of upper management to maybe get another opportunity at that championship, because I do think that he deserves it. And, he might end up being the guy to take it off of Gunther. But that does do it for the actual SmackDown review portion of the show, the go-home show. Hope you enjoyed that. But we're going to now, turn our attention to the Extreme Rules card, and we are going to dive full on into these predictions. Number 1, the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. We saw Imperium get the better of the Brawling Brutes on SmackDown. We just talked about it in the main event because of the shillelagh hit. Gunther retained his Intercontinental Championship, so I do expect Butch and who is it? Is this a 6-man tag match? I can't really tell. I don't anticipate this being a 6-man tag match, but who knows? So you guys are seeing real time. Like, I'm not going to edit this out or anything like that. I truly don't know if it's just Butch and Ridge Holland versus Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, or if Gunther and Sheamus are going to be involved. My gut tells me that it's just going to be a 2-on-2 match. But either way, I am picking the Brawling Brutes to win this one. Up next, Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre in a strap match. Karrion Kross got the better of Drew tonight. I know it's not, guaranteed that always happens, whoever gets the upper hand on the go-home show, but I just expect Drew McIntyre to win this. He's ranked higher on my list than Karrion Kross. I know Karrion Kross is the newer guy who you want to make look legit, but I still think you can make him look good, especially in a gimmick match. All these matches have gimmicks. That's the thing. You're going to notice that. So I feel like if you let Drew McIntyre win in this strap match, it's not going to, cripple Karrion Kross's, I guess, growth as a wrestler on the main roster. I think he's going to be all right. It's not going to, stunt his development or anything like that. He's got Scarlett by his side. He can somehow still lose this match and come out looking strong. But I am going to pick Drew McIntyre to get the win here, just on record. Moving on, we have Edge versus Finn Balor in an I Quit match. Now, if this were just a regular old 1, 2, 3 exhibition match, just regular rules, I'd pick Finn Balor because I truly think that these are the type of matches where we have one Hall of Famer trying to put over, in my personal opinion, someone who could be a future Hall of Famer. Finn Balor is, the talent is through the roof. Sky's the limit. He has untapped potential. I know he's older than most people who, look like him, and he hasn't been in WWE for that long, so he might not realize it, but he is getting up there in age. He's not a spring chicken anymore by any means. So it would make sense for Edge to put him over, but because it is this I Quit match and it's going to be, just gruesome, very, very brutal, I see Edge just going to places that Finn Balor might not be able to go, and he might be able to go there. Obviously, this is the demon that we're talking about. I don't think we're going to get the demon Finn Balor, but it's still just, the same guy. He's gotten there. He can go to those places. But this is Edge, man. Edge doesn't have to paint his body up and, change his whole personality and be like this split personality to go to those places. He can just, hit the music. You think you know me. And that's all Edge has to do. And he can take himself to those places. And I just truly think he's going to win this match. I don't know why. But I'm putting my faith in Edge to make Finn Balor say, I quit. Moving on to the fight pit. Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins. This has got to be Riddle, right? I know Seth Rollins is kind of on a roll here. You don't really want to see him lose. But the verbal shots that Seth has been taking at Matt, you have to assume that Riddle's going to, take it out on him here. I know that we do have the special enforcer or the referee, whatever, Daniel Cormier, former UFC heavyweight champion, Hall of Famer. I mean, this dude is one of the best MMA fighters of all time. So getting him involved is going to bring maybe another audience, another set of eyeballs, another, I guess, demographic to watch this, hopefully. That's what you expect, and just the attraction of a fight pit, the allure of it. Who knows, what's it going to be? We've seen this in NXT before, but it's now on a real WWE pay-per-view, so they're going to try to, really expose this thing and, introduce it to the wrestling world. But I will pick Riddle to win this one and get revenge on Seth Rollins. Now, the two headlining matches here are the Women's Championships. Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a ladder match. And let's see, SmackDown Women's Championship, Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey in Extreme Rules match. Let's go and do Raw first. Part of me wants to pick Bayley here. It really does, because we're getting in that season where you want to get the belt on a heel. Liv Morgan's clearly a babyface. Bianca Belair is a babyface. Just with the way that Damage Control is going in their direction that they're going to run the company, not from a business perspective, but from a in the ring faction, we're going to demolish everybody perspective. It just makes sense to get the belt on Bayley. The Damage Control is one of the better things going right now on Monday Night Raw. And like I said, it would, allow them to let a babyface win the Royal Rumble and, pursue this championship and let Bayley have a nice little title reign here and just maximize the heat or the overness. I know that's not a word, but I'm going to use it here for what Damage Control has. They're very over with the crowd right now. Just a lot of people, they miss these wrestlers that were gone, all three of them. So the fact that they're all in a group together, it just kind of, you just do the math. It adds all of them together, and collectively, it's one of the hottest groups in WWE right now. So it does make sense to get that championship honor. But Bianca Belair is one of my favorite wrestlers in the entire company, male or female. So, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to enjoy this one as a fan. I really am going to enjoy this match. But I will go ahead and pick Bayley to win and take that championship and bring it to Damage Control. SmackDown Women's Championship, Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. This one's very interesting. It really is. Because I don't really know exactly what to expect. I think Liv Morgan is more than willing to go to that dark, evil place to keep this championship. But Ronda Rousey is so much more credible as a champion that it seems like the time is coming. The clock is ticking for Liv. I don't know when this championship's going to get dropped. but it just seems like it's inevitable, like that they're going to put a stop to this experimental run that they've had, and let the title go back to somebody like Ronda. It just makes sense. Like we said, we're getting into the real thick of it with this fall season, getting into Survivor Series season, inching closer to the Royal Rumble. You want to, more eyeballs are about to be on the product. So the time for experimental or, stopgap champions is over. You want to get your belts on your credible people and start setting up your WrestleMania storylines, or at least start planting the seeds for them. So I don't think both championships are going to switch hands. So if I already picked the Raw title to stay or to switch hands, I think I'm going to go ahead and pick Liv Morgan to retain somehow, some way. But like I said, the clock is ticking, and at some point you think that maybe that title might find its way to someone else. But guys, that is the SmackDown review in its entirety. I do appreciate you guys for sticking around if you are still listening at this point in the episode. And if you've come back week after week, I definitely appreciate your support, your continued loyalty. Being part of this WWE podcast family definitely means a lot. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy sitting down and talking to John about it. I know he was busy tonight, but he'll be back next week. We'll be able to talk about Extreme Rules and everything that happened in the world of wrestling throughout the week. But with all that being said, guys, I hope you all have a damn good weekend. Enjoy Extreme Rules. Walk passionately in the direction of your dreams, and I will talk to you soon.
Are you a gamer looking for your clan? If you answered yes, there's a place absolutely perfect for you. It's called Clan Finder, online at clanfinder.gg. The website was founded by gamers who were committed to keeping the site updated with the latest titles, adding new features to further assist in advertising your community across the globe, and bringing on gaming studios that want to give back to their players. Helping support charities from around the world, Clan Finder helps gaming communities promote their organizations to fellow gamers who are looking for a place to call home. Long gone are the days when you had to scour forums, stem discussions, and sketchy websites to find a new gaming clan. Go to clanfinder.gg and search for your clan today. Clanfinder.gg.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.